My lobster roll of the day, Larry.
Yeah, who are you giving your lobster roll? Not game balls on the wake up, but the lobster roll giveaway.
The lobster roll this week goes to Fred Warner. My God, this guy, I'm telling you, I hope his ankle is just fine. His sideline demeanor post-injury looked really, really good. I don't want to worry about it. I'm not going to allow myself to worry about it because guys with really bad ankles are not walking around just happy to be on the sideline after that. They wouldn't let him back out there to put weight on it if there was something really bad. And you said you saw him at the post-game press conference. He was moving around good. That's all good news. Hopefully he doesn't wake up today and anything changes. Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football. I don't know if the Niners can actually point to any single position and say that's the best guy in football, not even left tackle, because there's a couple out there that are just as good as Trent right now. Fred Warner is the best. If we were having a middle linebacker draft, he goes #1 overall, no matter which team is picking. That is who he is. His wallet is the one that says bad motherfucker on it. I mean, he is just unbelievably good in every direction. And the play that he made highlighted the full depth and breadth of his talent. He caught the ball like a tight end. He bounced up off the turf like a gymnast. And then he ran like he was Jordan Mason, 45 yards into the end zone. He is spectacular, and he has put together through 4 weeks, I believe, the strongest statement for defensive player of the year we've seen in the NFL. Maybe TJ Watt's right there in the conversation as well, but Fred Warner's unbelievable, Larry. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame if he stays healthy and plays long enough.
He's the best coverage linebacker I've ever seen. And I'll say this, I think real 49er fans know that Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw are the heart and soul of the team. And those are the guys, those are the leaders. You can name captains, and Shanahan has a bunch. And there's a lot of good players on this football team, and there's a lot of guys that lead in their own way. But if you just wanted to say, man, screw the monikers, who are the leaders in the room? It's Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Fred Warner this year, Damon, 27 tackles, 4 PBUs, pass breakups. That's what PBU stands for. 2 forced incompletions, 2 interceptions, including yesterday's pick 6, 1 sack, 10 yards allowed per game in coverage is probably the most impressive stat of all of them. 10 yards a game allowed in pass coverage, and a 17.6 passer rating when targeting Fred Warner. That's what opposing quarterbacks have put together. So he's an outstanding player. Now, would I make him the DPOY? I would not. Okay. Personally, I think what Hutchinson's doing in Detroit, and you'll see him tonight, he's got like 12 more pressures than any other player in football. I mean, he's making Nick Bosa look like his little brother right now. This guy is scary good. So I'd give my vote to Hutchinson just slightly over Fred. But Fred is, I thought he maybe had crested the hill and was starting on the decline. Nope. This is his apex. I mean, this is his amazing apex. And I agree with you. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he in time, he'll be a Hall of Famer. I hope that it's not one of those things where, and I think it might be, Damon, completely. I fear this. It was Willis and Bowman. And Willis came first. Bowman came second. Willis was a little bit better, but Bowman was awfully awesome and awfully dominant. And Willis is going to the Hall of Fame, and Bowman's completely forgotten. And I hate the fact that I get the sense that Warner and Greenlaw are the same thing, where Warner is going to be, remembered forever as some Hall of Famer, and Greenlaw is going to be forgotten 45 minutes after he gets off the field. And yet they were very, very comparable.
Yeah, there was a time where the only linebacker in the league who might have been better than Patrick Willis was Navarro Bowman. They were incredible teammates. They really were. And these two guys, it's a shame that Greenlaw's not out there right now because they feed off each other. They make each other better. And we're looking at Fred do this without his partner in crime. And I think it's the best start to any season I've seen for Fred Warner. That's why he gets my lobster roll of victory. Larry, who are you giving yours to, or does Fred get a bite of yours as well?
I'm going to give mine. Well, I won't double up just because I'll respect the fact that you got Fred first. So I'll let you go with Fred. It would be real easy to go with Mason. Mason was fantastic. I really loved what I saw yesterday from Jair Brown. I thought it was really exciting watching Malik Mustafa play deep middle, and I talked to him about it in the locker room after the game, and I was super thrilled for my guy Sam Aquinu, who got a quarterback hit. They didn't give him a sack, Damon, even though he got the sack. But 91, I loved the way 91 played.
He's not going back to the practice squad. He's staying up.
Yeah, he's staying up. He's a hell of a player. And I love Evan Anderson, who got a sack. The gigantic rookie defensive tackle. They're all good. All those guys are good. But guess what? I'm going to go deeper. Because that's the way I roll. Dominic Puni yesterday, Damon, in pass protection. 29 pass blocking snaps. No pressures allowed. No sacks allowed. Puni is yet to allow a sack or a quarterback hit in 146 pass blocking snaps this season. And he was perfect yesterday. And even had to come out of the game for a little bit because he got dinged up, but he's okay. Yeah, I'm giving, it would be easy to give it to Mason, but you know what? There were some big holes there. Debo ran for 7 yards a carry. The Niners as a team ran for 4.6 a carry. I'm going to give it to Puni on the right side at right guard.
That's a great pick. I mean, it really is. And it feels like he's providing the balance that the offensive line was looking for. It was all stacked to the left, and now it can come back a little bit to the right. We didn't have a day where we said Colton McKivitz's name once, right? Didn't say his name once.
Didn't say Keon White's name once, Damon. Yeah, that's who we went against, I think.
One of their best players defensively. Look, the Patriots are very much, undermanned. They're not a good football team. We see that. It's easy to see that. You watch enough football, you know that the minute they are down 2 points or, two touchdowns, 2 scores, it's pretty much over for them. And it's going to be that way the entire year. They had an offensive line that was banged up before the game started, and they lost their starting center in the first series. Outside of Jabril Peppers, I mean, nobody had a really good game yesterday. And Peppers was awesome, by the way. He is a hell of a player.
He might be their best player.
Malik Mustafa, though, you said it was nice to see him get his first start. He whiffed on his first tackle on Ramondre Stevenson. I think he was maybe a little overhyped. And then he had just a getting the job done day. He didn't really stand out. Again, I haven't rewatched the game yet or seen the all 22. My eyes will be on him when I do. It's a shame he didn't come away with that near interception at the end of the game. Oh, I thought he was going to get his fingers on that and get the deflected interception. But it was good to see him get into the mix. Shanahan doesn't like rookies. Rookies really got to earn their playing time, and it looks like he's on his way to earning it. When Talanoa Hufanga comes back, it'll be a little bit of a change for him. But Mustafa's going to be involved in every single game plan of this year. That's obvious.
Yeah, I mean, he is, he's a great kid. Super smart football player. I mean, when it's like, what stands out more, his intellect or his physicality? It's like they're neck and neck. I mean, it's really impressive. He played 64 snaps, which is pretty damn good. 64 snaps yesterday for Mustafa. Here were the snap count in the secondary. Lenore played 64. Mooney played 64. Mustafa played 64. Jair Brown played 64. Renardo Green played 23. And Isaac Yadam played 16. So I like the fact that Green got in there. But let's talk about Mustafa, because I talked to him afterwards, and he said, when I was in college, my first game in college, I had an interception exactly like that I dropped. I said, really? He said, yeah. It was really weird, it was like I got a lot of deja vu, dropping that interception. But yeah, he played the deep middle. I asked him about it, not on mic or on camera, but just we were chatting at his locker. I said, Malik, how comfortable are you in the deep middle, whether it be in a zone or man-to-man? And he's like, I played a lot of deep middle, so that was great to hear, Damon, because I was fearful that they had 3 box safeties in Jair, Hufanga, and Mustafa. And it sounds like Mustafa, it feels comfortable in, down the field. So what does that mean? That probably means that Hufanga or Jair Brown will not start. That would be my guess once everybody's healthy. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mustafa will go to the bench, but I don't think Hufanga or Jair Brown are ideally suited to play. They're both box safeties in an ideal world. So I know Brown's a better coverage guy than Hufanga. Hufanga's a little bit more of an experienced head than the rest of these guys. So he's kind of like almost like a coach on the field. But if Mustafa can play the deep middle, then I think you play Brown and Hufanga, interchange them, and play Mustafa a lot as the free safety. We know he's a thumper. We know he can hit. If he can cover, they're ahead of the game. And I thought the biggest move yesterday, even though Patriots weren't going to win, but the Niners pulled Yadam for Renardo Green in the second half. And Renardo Green, I don't think gave up a single reception the rest of the game.